I'm the project coordinator for Europeana space. So I'm just going to spend a little bit of time, for those of you who don't know the project, telling you a bit about it. We are a large network reaching across Europe. We have 29 partners in total from 13 member states. And the map there gives you a sense of the breadth and the reach of the partnership. We're made up of many different partners, so it's a very broad and rich ecosystem in this project, ranging from SMEs, cultural bodies, memory institutions, broadcasters, national cultural agencies, centres of excellence in multidisciplinary research, including universities. And you will see in your packs, you have the project booklet, so that will give you lots more information about each of the partners. So our project is primarily concerned with how do we engage or encourage users to engage with this rich array of cultural heritage that's created across the European Union, and in particular, how do we engage with the cultural content that is available and accessible through this wonderful digital library, Europeana. And these are just some images from Europeana. So our work is really about how do we help users make more of this wonderful resource? How can we encourage users to find material, find content, unlock this content, and importantly, do interesting things with it, to reuse it in really innovative ways. So that's the challenge we've set ourselves within this project. So we're looking really at, through this project, how we can, through this reuse of cultural content, how can we stimulate growth across Europe? And that growth is in terms of economic growth, about supporting the growth of jobs, about helping people get more value out of this cultural content. So this notion of how cultural heritage content can support economic growth is really at the root of what we're trying to do. And if that can help with developing more job opportunities and to stimulate all our economies, all the better. So we've talked about cultural heritage. This is fundamentally at the root of what we're doing. And this screen grab is just from one of our the platforms that we're using, where we're drawing in some of this cultural heritage content from Europeana and beyond to give examples of how we can start to collect and curate this content so that it becomes more easily accessible. And of course, it's a rich range of content, everything from image through to text, through to moving image, and so on. The project is fundamentally organized around 6 pilot activities. And these activities represent a broad range of the creative and cultural industries. So our groups are busy working on developing tools and other kinds of resources, working in the areas of photography, of games, open and hybrid publishing, interactive Europeana TV, museums, and dance. And some of you will have already noticed we have some banners here in this wonderful centre which will give you more information about those pilots. We also have educational demonstrators being developed as well to really look at how the educational sector can do more with this cultural content. And then moving on from our pilots, we're moving into a series of hackathon events. So each pilot is staging a hackathon in different geographical locations across Europe. We've already had 2 of those. We've had the TV hackathon in Amsterdam, and then earlier on in November, we had our dance hackathon in Prague. And these are an opportunity for us to take these prototype tools that we've been working on into a very creative community in each of these locations, offered them up for the participants to play with them, have a go with them, find out what they can do with them, see to what extent they inspire their own creativity, and then thinking about what they can then produce. Working broadly within this area of cultural practice. And so far we've seen some really exciting tools and resources beginning to emerge. And this is a community which is quite broad-based. So it's a community which might be artists, other creatives, as well as programmers, coders, other people representing the creative and cultural industries. So they're coming together, and it's often over a 2-day period where they work often through the night in good hackathon style to really experiment with some of these ideas. And these hackathons have a competitive side to them as well. So that at the end of the 2 days, what we do is we invite them to pitch their ideas. And then we select, there's a jury that's formed for each hackathon, and the jury makes the selection of the three ideas that we think have got the most potential to move on into a business modeling incubation stage. And we're seeing some fantastic early ideas emerge from this. So once they move out of the hackathon stage, they go into this business modeling workshop phase, led by our partners, Remix, who've got this fantastic experience of how to start with really raw ideas and then bring lots of tools and resources into that process to think about what market, what application these tools might move into. And then out of that, there'll be another selection process, and then those that have the most potential at that point will be taken into an incubation stage. And that is really about trying to help creatives think about how they can take these raw ideas through this journey into having something that's going to have some kind of market impact, some kind of value into the creative and cultural industries, or indeed beyond. Some of them have application which may go into a different domain of practice. It might be into health, it might be into sport, but cultural heritage is at the root of this because that's what we're really trying to support. What I would also stress is that our pilots, right from the beginning, have been working directly with the user community. So we've been testing out our ideas, testing out the tools as they develop, getting feedback, using that feedback to think about how we can improve what we're doing. And we're also thinking very much about the educational impact of this work, because after all, the educational sector are tomorrow's cultural heritage professionals. So we're thinking about how does this support the educational process, right from at school level through into further and higher education, and into adult education as well. So we want to think about how, through the work we're doing, through online resources and so on, that we can actually support everybody who's working within the creative and cultural industries. So what are we doing? Well, I've told you a broad sweep of all the work that we're doing. But our aim really is to try to ensure that we're reaching vast numbers, we think we are, of European citizens, and sometimes beyond. So some of our hackathon participants are coming from other continents as well. So we're reaching out to people through events like this, our conferences, our workshops, our hackathons, and we have a very lively, dynamic online presence. Fundamentally, it's about trying to encourage engagement with Europeana and then simultaneously reporting back the value of Europeana and what Europeana itself can do better. We're also looking at public engagement with cultural heritage, but also supporting our creative industries and helping artists and cultural heritage professionals to thrive by being enterprising and reaching new users and audiences. We're disseminating new tools, which we hope will have wide uptake. We're supporting the reuse of cultural heritage, supporting business modelling, and growing generally this sector and this community. But we're also asking important questions along the way. As you can probably imagine, we're coming up against lots of interesting questions around what open means, intellectual property rights, permissions for reuse, and so on. We have experts in the project team who are helping us think through a lot of those questions. How can we encourage these rights issues to be more accessible for the creators and owners of work and those who use content? And fundamentally, we're looking at how we can support the ongoing health, of the creative and cultural industries. They're such a powerful tool for social cohesion, for tolerance, human interaction and communication, which is more and more important in these times. Promoting the value of cultural heritage through these educational tools for tomorrow's cultural heritage professionals and creative communities. And of course, we want what we do to be sustained beyond the end of our project. We are at the moment towards the end of our second year, so we have another year and a bit to go. It's a 3-year project in total. So we're already looking beyond the end of the project so that the work that we do can carry on and continue to have an impact beyond. So this is our workflow. We're developing these prototype applications. We're looking at these questions around open access, intellectual property rights. We're doing lots of user testing. We're refining what we're doing. The hackathons, which are fundamentally about encouraging reuse innovation. We're then thinking about this process of business development workshops and what that means for creative industries. And then this incubation process, which is about thinking about market opportunities, innovation, engagement, sustainability. So it's creating something of a virtuous circle. All of this work, we hope, will feed back into the general health, the general well-being, and the forward generation of cultural heritage content, engagement, and reuse. This is our conference. Here we are in Tallinn, and then we have our final conference almost this time next year in Berlin. We're looking at November, so we very much hope some of you might join us then. In the meantime, we will be having more workshops. Most of these are open. We have our educational focus workshop in Athens, where we're looking at the educational demonstrators, Open and Hybrid Publishing Hackathon. And then we have another event in May, no dates yet to be confirmed, but we'll let you know, in Brussels, where we're looking at the potential for more educational take-up and engagement through the pilot activity. And then throughout the rest of the project time, throughout 2016, we have the remaining hackathons and the business modelling workshops. Please do look at our website. You will find information about all of these events there, which is here for you to see, but you have it in your packs as well. And we do look forward to seeing you at some of our other events. Thank you.